So I have one of my students, his name is Matt, and he was our student showcase last week in our mastermind, in the Storage Nerds Mastermind. We meet a couple of times a month, and we always have a student showcase, and one of the students that's buying properties comes in and tells us like how he's doing it and stuff. And so Matt came in, and he basically he lives in Jamaica, and he's buying property in Florida and Tennessee right now. All right, so don't think that you need to have something right around the corner from you, because he lives in a different country and manages a storage facility. So anyways, his very first property that he bought is like, it's a 24 unit property in the middle of this little tiny town in like the middle of Tennessee. Okay. And he picked it up for like, I don't know, I think it was like 24 units. He picked it up for like 50 grand or something like this. And he just paid cash for it. And so he just said like, it's okay, because it's something he just wanted to like figure out how to do it. Now, he doesn't have a website for his very first one. He didn't have a website. He takes credit cards by PayPal, and like he just took the old site down and put the new sign up. And it's not gated or anything like that. It's just this, when he's like, it's in a little tiny town. It's just one of these little tiny, facilities or whatever. He did raise the rates, but not by, not a lot, no, not by a lot or whatever. And so he really just got his feet wet on this, right? That's the very first one. He bought that like as soon as he's been in the coaching program now for like at least a year and a half or something. I can't remember if it was like a year and a half. It's been a while. So his very first one that he bought was just a little tiny facility. Okay. And he's just like figured out what to do. And he's like, got his feet wet. He's getting going. The second facility that he picked up was 100 and I can't remember how many units it is. It's like 100 and maybe 40 or 30. I can't remember. It's an $800,000 facility. Maybe it was 150 units for 800 grand. I mean, that's a great price in Florida. And actually it's in like I call it the no man's land of Florida, right? You know what I'm talking about? If anybody knows what the no man's land is, it's like in the middle of Florida where like nobody wants to live, right? I call that no man's land. But it's booming. I mean, that area of Florida is like, you are not going to go wrong in Florida, that's for sure. All right. And so he picked that one up, and he's getting an SBA loan for that. And it was an income producing property, but he could increase the rates immediately once he bought it. Okay. Now, and this is like the one that we got that we're getting also under contract that we found in Crexie. And I wanted to make sure I brought this up to y'all because I'm seeing this over and over again when we look for properties. So smaller properties, there's nothing wrong with buying them to get your feet wet. All right. Income producing properties. All right. When you're looking for an income producing property, you want to, what's happening, what I'm seeing is that there are a lot of income producing properties out there. Okay. Now, what I've noticed is that there are a lot of income producing properties that have not raised their rents since before COVID. So they're making what they were making before COVID hit, but they've been too afraid to raise their rents. All right. Because they're nice people. And guess what? Like most storage facility owners, especially mom and pops, they're like such nice people. All right. Just like my husband. I tell him he's kind of a sucker sometimes. I'm like, I just talked to him today. I was like, did you raise your rents today? That's always my question. Just aggravates him when I ask him that. I said, yeah, did you raise your rents today? And he just looks at me like. So anyways, so what I've noticed on these income producing properties, and I want all of you guys to be aware, is that there are many, many income producing properties out there that have not raised their rates since before COVID. So the one that Matt has under contract, it's the same thing. So I don't know what the price per square foot is, but he could increase the rates immediately like by 20 or 30%, right? And sometimes even more. The one that we got under contract in Florida, and Florida is one of these gray areas, to be looking for this at. I mean, pretty much any area, anywhere, any secondary primary, I wouldn't say primary, but I would say any secondary market. And a lot, I mean, mostly tertiary, a lot of tertiary markets, but any secondary market that I've usually had over the past couple of years, I haven't really looked at a lot of secondary markets, but now we're starting to look in secondary markets. And what I've noticed is that there's a lot of facilities out there where they haven't raised their rates in like 2 years.